Hi guys, this is Computer Networks and Security, Module 3, Configuring a Router, for CCNA 2, Routers and Routing Basics. Please listen and make sure to jot down notes or replay this video to cope up with the discussion. As the discussion progresses, there may be languages in Tagalog to further explain the topic. Enjoy! Here are some of the global configuration mode of a Cisco IOS. Config if for interface, config sub if for sub interface, config controller for controller, config map list for map lists, config map class for map class, config line for line, config router for router, config IPX router for IPX router, config route map for route map. Please go back to Module 2 to learn more about exec commands. Some of the commands are exit to go back a level, Ctrl-Z to return to privileged exec mode, enter or return to execute a command, enable to enter a privileged exec mode, configure terminal to enter global configuration mode, hostname, the name of the hosts, to enter a host name, exit to return to a configuration mode. Configuring router passwords. Passwords restrict access to routers through virtual terminal lines, console line, and privileged exec mode. Passwords ensure that only authorized persons may make changes to the configuration file. To enter a password in a console, type line console 0 for the first console, password, the name of your password, and log in to activate the password. To enter a password in a telnet connection, type line VTY 0 space 4, password, just type your password, and log in to activate the password. To restrict access to privileged exec mode. To enable a password, it only used when enable secret password is not set. It is not encrypted. Just type enable password, then your password. To enable a secret password, it takes precedence over the enabled password. This is encrypted. Just type enable secret, then your password. These are some of the show commands. To display all show commands, type show ? To display statistics for all router interfaces, type show interfaces. To display statistics for serial interface only, type show interfaces serial, the number of the serial interface. To display information specific to the interface hardware, type show controller serial. To show the clock set in the router, show clock. To display a cache list of host names and addresses, type show hosts. To display all the users who are connected to the router, type show users. To display the information of commands that were entered, type show history. To display information about flash memory, type show flash. To display status of any configured layer 3 protocols, type show protocol. To display the saved configuration in NVRAM, type show startup configuration. To display configuration currently running in RAM, type show running configuration. Configuring serial and Ethernet ports. Both can be configured from console port or through telnet, config T or conf T, or configure terminal to enter global configuration mode. Int, then the interface name to enter interface serial mode. IP address, your IP, then your subnet mask to specify the interface IP address and subnet mask. No SH or no shutdown, turn on the interface. The commands that I mentioned will be very useful to configure interfaces. We will use this during the demo. For other commands, just please take note of these. To make changes or negate the command, just use the word no. Examples are no IP address to turn off the IP address and subnet mask, no bandwidth to turn off the bandwidth, no clock rate to turn off the clock rate, no shutdown to turn on or enable an interface. Shutdown means turn off or disable the interface. Just please take note of the other commands. I'd like to focus on this command to configure host names. Type IP hosts, your host name, and then your IP address. To view all hosts, type show hosts. To ping a host, type ping the host name or ping the IP address. To telnet a host, type telnet the host name or telnet the IP address. That's it. To recap, there are further commands used to display information and configure router. Ensure you have jotted down your notes or play this video again. Make sure to watch other videos to get to know more about computer networks and security. This is Vernon, and thank you very much.